Hello and welcome to Fucking Mental with me, Graham Hughes, and I'm joined tonight by Scott Williams of Stateside and Friday Night Social fame. You can find him on the old TikTokies on TGA 1976.
Which I have actually been posting a lot more on,
Yes, you have.
actually.
You have.
Yeah, I've
Well,
been
it was a
back
bit
into it.
I saw one of your videos today, and that kind of gave me the inspiration to do a show about mental health on here because I want to do something that's not like, what you did. It's not like a polished mental health awareness segment. Do you know what I mean? It's just a space for honesty and lived experience and the
Yeah.
the befuddlements and contradictions and just talk about mental health without all of the woo bullshit. That's what I want to do because I've lived with ADHD. Turns out all my life. You've been struggling with depression for the last
Yeah.
few months, haven't you?
Yeah,
And
a
I think
lot.
most
Yeah.
of the conversations about these things feel very sanitized or patronizing, or like a bit detached from reality, the lived reality of what it's like. So I'd like to bring in other people as well. If you're in the chat and you've been not dealing with stuff in your life or in what's been going on in politics, what's been going on around the world, it's quite understandable. And everyone sort of deals with it in their own way, and some people just don't deal with it very well at all. I'm probably one of them. So shout out to Reverend Kathy and Diz in the chat there. We've also got Pete and Liam. Nice to have you on board. Saz is in there. Blue Badger, welcome. And Shropshire Chris as well is in there. And so Sarah Davis. And Gilly Dior and Alvone. Hello. If you'd like to join our friends in the chat, all you need to do, or our support group in the chat, all you need to do is hit the subscribe button and wait for 1 minute, and then you'll be able to join in. So yeah, go on, Scott. Can you talk us through what's been going on in your life, if you don't mind? No, I don't mean about that. I don't mean that side. I just mean the mental health side of it.
No! You got really scared there for a second.
I know. I was going to go,
well,
oh
there
God,
was
here
this
we go
guy.
again. There's this guy.
No, not at all. When it's come to my mental health, yeah, that has been a problem. It sort of started really like I've had probably 2 serious mental health episodes.
Yeah.
There was one a couple years after my mom died, when, and I had broken up with someone as well, a relationship, so that had really fucked me up, because I do not deal well with sort of rejection or abandonment, because I have had a lot of that going on in my life, parents and and friends and relationships. So that's definitely an issue for me, in coping. And then what can happen is, I can end up sort of just getting really down. And yeah, I mean, I don't want to go into every sort of depressive episode, but I would say that, this past one, it really did kick off with the death of a friend of mine who, um, I mean, would we say we were the closest of friends? No, but we were close enough. We were cool. We got on. I saw him pretty much
Yeah.
every Saturday for like over a year. I was working with him. He was helping me out, cutting hair. He took me, under his wing a bit. You know what I mean? And to do that, it was really out of generosity of his own sort of heart. Like, I originally was supposed to go and have a job, like, apply for a job with him, but my confidence was just not there, and I said, no, I don't think I'm going to do it. And he was a bit like, well, look, if you want to just practice, you can calm down, etc. So, he passed away very, very suddenly, and like, it was a shock. I was supposed to see him 2 days after he had passed. So yeah, um, that I think was the start of it.
Yeah.
And work really ramped up.
So that was like a triggering event.
Yeah,
Like
of
there was
course.
underlying depression or propensity to fall into depression,
Yeah.
and it was kicked off by this particular event.
by kind of losing a friend suddenly.
Yeah.
And I was a bit like, well, I dealt with it as best as I could, you know what I mean? It was sad, and but then, work, that started to become very stressful. My concentration wasn't really there. Um it was a spiral,
Yeah.
and I can only describe it as that it just got worse and worse and worse and worse and worse and worse. And we sort of hit, December time, and I think Christmas was just the worst. Like, I really struggled over Christmas, and that was when the really intrusive thoughts started to happen in regards to, when you start thinking about, wanting to go.
Yeah.
um
Yeah.
and um it never gets to a point with me. It's never been to a point where I have made a plan, um or tried to execute a plan. um I know sometimes that could be a very, that doing something like that could be a very methodic thing that,
Yeah.
you kind of plan out. And that's never been the case. I have responsibilities. I have my brother who I look after, and I guess that always stops me really from doing anything drastic like that. Um, and so, uh, yeah, so obviously did not do that. I started therapy in January. Um, I was seeing I saw someone for about 8 sessions, so a couple months, every week. Um, that was actually through work. Um, but there have been issues in regards to work, um, which I've had poor performance. And yeah, I mean, that is its own subject completely.
Yeah.
um, so eventually it came to a head in February where I took 3 weeks off work.
Yeah.
And I painted the room black because that's what depressing people do. I
I
was
think
trying
the
to get
Rolling
better.
Stones sang a song about that, didn't they?
Yeah. I was like, I'm gonna get better. I'm gonna paint my room. What color are you gonna paint it? I'm gonna paint it fucking black. Um,
Do you
and
regret
it
doing
didn't
that
look
now?
black.
Do,
No, I
no.
love it.
It
It
looks
looks so
cool. To be fair,
cool.
it does look cool. It does look
It's
very
so
cool, but
cool.
you know.
Like, you're doing some. I even bought some little brackets, and I'm
Yeah.
putting vinyl up on the walls as like sort of wall art.
Oh,
You know what I
fantastic.
mean?
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So if anything, it looks like a record store now
Yeah.
and I've got some neon lights. So I think it looks like a bit like a bar and grill.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's cool. It definitely looks cooler than my backdrop. I got to sort out this backdrop out. Although I don't think
So
Catherine's going to let me paint the wall black.
no, I
No.
mean, yeah, I think I don't know how long it will last, but yeah, it's here for now, definitely. Um, but yeah, I think those 3 weeks off, where it became a thing where for me I was very much I looked at the painting, for example, which I did the bathroom, the bedroom, and the hallway. I looked at it as sort of reminding myself that I can start a task, I can work hard on it to completion
Mm,
and have um a good sort of outcome of it, because I think with work where just things were sort of not going well
yeah.
and I wasn't performing well, you do start to think, well, I just can't do anything.
Yeah. Yeah.
It just kind of adds on to
Yeah.
the depression, and you just kind of go, well, I'm fucking useless. And had to prove to myself that I wasn't, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Like, I can do this, and I know I can do it to a good standard, and I did do it to a good standard. The hallway looks awesome. The bathroom, I have to admit, I have been lazy. Still need to do the woodwork in the bathroom, but generally the bathroom itself looks better than it did. And I know in here I did a pretty cool job.
Yeah.
So in that, I managed to go back to work. I think when I went back to work for it was probably like the beginning of March, because I think it was like the second week of February I went off, and um, it was hard. It was hard to get back into it. It was hard not to feel anxious, and it was
Mm.
hard not to, because by this time in January, right at the beginning of January, end of December, I was given sort of diazepam. Like my
Yeah.
anxiety was up through the roof. I upped my medication to the highest dose I can do it, and yeah, and that I had actually spent the whole of 2024 decreasing my antidepressants because I felt like
Right.
I was doing really well, and I didn't, do I want to live the rest of my life, dependent on antidepressants? Do you know what I mean? I haven't done that. I have been on them for 15 years now, but I didn't want to. I was thinking to myself, yeah, get this out of your system. And I'd have the dose. It took me a year to
Yeah.
have the dose.
Yeah.
And I thought I was doing well. Like I said, the first 9 months of last year, I thought I was doing really well. I got this job. I was doing okay in the job. I was doing my hair cutting on the side. I was, just living my life. And I thought I was living my life pretty okay until this one event happens.
Yeah.
And then it just piles on after that. So I think when we talk about now, my anxiety is still really bad. Um, like today at work, just as one example, I was sitting with a friend for lunch, and my legs are just shaking. I look like, it almost looks like I'm shivering or
Yeah.
wanking under the table,
Crafty wank.
which is what Graham thinks I'm doing when my legs are shaking here, and I just said to my friend, I'm really shaky today. He goes, "Oh, are you nervous about something?" I went, "No." And he goes, "Are you
Yeah.
unhappy about something?" I said, "No."
Yeah.
It's just,
Well,
it's a
that's it, isn't it?
physical,
Because
it's
there's
crazy, right?
there's like different types of depression. Everyone's depression is unique, and it can be triggered by an event. In your case, but that's not the reason why you're feeling where you are right now. We've had some messages come in. Shropshire Chris saying they've had PTSD for the last 20 years
Oh, that's
after
awful.
ex-wife tried to kill them.
Yeah. Oh, I
Depression,
understand that
anxiety
one.
ever since, on and off. And
Oh.
Daniela says I struggle with BPD, which I assume is borderline,
Yeah, yeah. I had an
uh,
ex who dealt with
on
that.
most days and get triggered easily and tend to
Hmm.
take it out on social media with posts about it very negatively. Well, that's something that that we want to sort of address on this show is like, usually when we try and talk about mental health online, there'll just be twats who'll turn up and just be horrible and just be like, oh, pull yourself together, Hey, Scott,
Yeah,
cheer up. Helpful. Do you know what I mean? It's like,
that doesn't work. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. Actually, that just pisses you off,
I know,
really.
yeah, it just makes you more
It's
angry.
complete opposite effect. You're just like, you know what?
Yeah,
Kiss my ass.
yeah.
I'm
Well,
telling you, I'm in a bad place. Don't
yeah.
tell me to cheer the fuck up. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Have you tried not being ADHD? Have you tried
Oh,
not being autistic? Have you
I
tried?
know.
It's like saying to Kat, have you tried not being deaf? Oh yeah, yeah. I'll just press the
Have you
button in my
tried
head
not
that
being
fix it.
gay?
Yeah, have you tried not being gay? Well, people do say that, don't they?
They
Have you
do.
tried? Have you
Have you tried?
have
I
you
mean,
tried?
I know you're choosing this lifestyle, and so you could try to be straight.
Shropshire Chris has a question. Does Anna Quest, maybe, I don't know. Does loud music help to distract you from depression? Because I want to talk about what works for you, and what's
This
worked
is
in the
crazy.
past.
All
Because
right,
things
so
change.
I actually, there were gigs I had planned that I didn't go to the shows, and I think it was the sort of, um, for me, they were long journeys for me to go to those shows, but
Mm,
and I just couldn't face it. I was just like, "Ugh, no, all I want to do is go home, um,
mm,
and that's all I want to do when I'm in that state. I just want to be at home. I don't want to be anywhere else. I don't want to deal with people generally. but then it's weird because I do want to reach out to people because I want to tell people that I'm having a hard time. I want the support of my friends, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
You know, and I was very fortunate. I had a couple of people at work who were like, I no other just way to describe it, just absolutely fucking wonderful. Um, I was able to go to and talk to frankly and openly and honestly about stuff, and they didn't judge me for that.
Yeah.
And they almost to the point where they really understood where I was coming from. And sorry, just bear with me. I scratched myself so much.
Oh, no, have you lost your shit? Get your shit
Huh?
together. Don't lose your shit, man.
I'm all right.
You got it. Okay. Phew.
So yeah, so yeah, you know, I had some support at work. Actually, for the first week of being at home, I found that really tough.
Yeah.
I was like texting people at work, like, "Hi," and then when they're not coming right, like my one friend was not coming right back to me, I was like, "Well, this is bullshit because we're on work. You reply straight away,
Yeah.
right?" You know, and he's like, "Yeah, it's different now, right? You're not here,
Yeah.
you know, and I care and I give a shit and I will reply to you, but yeah, like I know you're used to talking every day, but you need to get better."
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? And he's right.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, no, you
But
know what? You're right.
that's good because you need the frankness. Do you know what I mean? There's a great comment here from Chris saying, as a former Samaritan listener in prison, we were taught not to engage with those who are struggling, but just to listen. Yeah, that didn't happen. You need to engage. So yeah, you know, you can't just. It's not that much use for someone just to go, yeah, while
Okay,
you're
cool,
talking.
cool. And then because that's talking to a wall.
Yeah.
You need a person to actually, you know, sometimes like say, you know, you're overthinking it. Yeah, I do that. I'm a terrible overthinker. I analyze and reanalyze everything. Everything I said, everything I did. I apologize for shit that probably doesn't need an apology. I am that sort of. I've always kind of been a bit like that anyway. And you know, I've had friends who I've literally had to go, "You're overthinking it. Stop it."
Yeah.
You know. Yeah.
And this is it. I mean, there can be reasons behind people's mental health problems, or there can be no reason at all. It can just happen. It can change over time. Something that used to be depression can change into borderline, can change into something else as you get older, as different things happen. And it's a really complex it's a really complex issue because everyone's symptoms and treatment are unique. And one thing that really winds me up is when someone has found something that worked for them and they really go quite aggressively at you for you to do the same thing. And you're just sitting there going, but that's not going to work for me.
Yeah,
I know myself, you know, I've tried something similar. I've literally tried that and it made it worse. Will you stop?
You know what
please?
You should do? Yeah. You know what you should do? You should meditate. You should meditate for 15 minutes.
Meditation to an ADHD person is fucking torture.
Yeah. But no, people say that to me. You meditate, you're being mindful, and then you can clear your head. And I'm just like, you want to put me in a room by myself in quietness, right?
With just my intrusive thoughts
and
for company.
Just my own thoughts?
Yeah.
That's the problem.
But you know what?
That's not going to be the solution.
For some people, it fucking works. It absolutely works. And I wouldn't diss that. I just know for me personally, that would be my idea of hell. Like, but if it works for someone else, fine. But I'm not going to scream at someone to do or not.
It's not my idea. I just do that in bed.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
for hours.
The other side of this is medication. Now, I take medication for my ADHD. I take Zacatin or something. And you're on medication at the moment, aren't you? Or are you still taking it?
Oh yeah. I'm on the 200 milligrams sertraline.
When it comes to mental health, there's a lot of medication shaming. There's a lot of like, oh, you want
Really?
You don't want that. You want to get off that medication. You want to go for a nice walk in the forest. Not that forest in Japan where everyone kills themselves, because obviously that wouldn't be a good forest to walk in. if you're not
I
feeling
can
too great.
honestly say no one's ever said that to me. And I
Yeah,
think maybe I've been very fortunate to be around good people who have an understanding of mental health issues.
yeah,
But no one has ever said to me, you know what? You know what you need to do? You know what's going to make you better? Stop taking those drugs. You know, it's like,
yeah.
come on now.
Well, it's like
Like,
when people said about, when Mike said he had cancer, and people were like, have you tried juice? And he's just like, can you
no, I have cancer,
fuck
dickhead.
off
Like,
right now? He's like
yeah.
really like getting
Are
wound
you
up, which is
serious right now?
understandable. If someone said that to me, I've just got a cancer a very, very serious cancer diagnosis, I'd fucking go nuts.
I would too. Do you know what though? I think that is it's very Western culture, isn't it? People seem to believe and think that they have remedies for things,
Yeah,
um, that they have no expertise in whatsoever. This was why a lot of what happened in regards to the pandemic happened.
mm,
A lot of people felt they knew better.
mm.
Um, and
Everyone became an epidemiologist overnight. It was
yes, yes, yeah.
incredible.
It
All,
was
all those years of
amazing.
study just crammed into one night on YouTube.
Yeah. And they knew, and they, in that, to justify sort of going against the guidance that the government
Yeah,
gave, or whatever, or literally, almost self-harming themselves by not getting vaccinated and things like that. So yeah, it's it's an incredible phenomenon that
yeah,
how people love to say that they have the solution for you,
yeah,
based on whatever little experience they have. You know what I mean?
yeah.
But like, I'm really depressed, so I'll go talk to an alcoholic. What's the alcoholic going to tell me? Have a drink. You know what I mean? Like,
Talk to
if
a
I go
gambling
to the
addict and I'd be
crackhead and
like,
say
just
I'm having this problem, he's going to go take a hit of this.
this will cheer you
that
up.
that all goes away.
Well, yeah, you're right. Just to go into the chat a little bit, we've got a lot of good messages coming here. We've got Chris who's saying depression can often be the result of other mental or even physical health conditions, which is true. And like I say, there's a lot of things that can trigger it, or nothing. It can just appear
Be,
one
be
day.
get Just even being sick for a long period of
Yeah,
time will
yeah.
trigger depression, 100%.
So, well, I mean, when you get ill, what do you want to do? You just want to curl up in bed, right? And want the
Well,
world to go away. And
if you physically feel a certain way,
that that's
yes, that's
that's an
exactly.
evolutionary thing to stop you
Yeah.
from spreading the disease to the rest of the village and killing everyone. Whatever
And
you've
or
got,
Yeah.
curl up in a corner. But depression behave and causes the same sort of symptoms, if you like. It's like, I just want to go to bed. I don't want to get up.
Yeah.
It's why I often think it kind of annoys me when people who are sad because something sad happened and they go, I'm depressed. And I'm like, well,
No,
it's
you're
not the
not.
word I would use for the situation you're
You're a
in.
little upset.
I could say the situation in the world with Trump being president is quite a depressing situation, but it's a
Yeah.
different obviously it's a different thing.
No, of course.
Sarah saying borderline personality disorder with severe depression and anxiety with a history of self harm and suicidal thoughts most days, says Sarah. And intrusive thoughts is such a horrible thing, and it happens
It
to
is.
everyone.
And
Everyone
listen,
gets it. I get it.
also, yeah, yeah, well, I do.
It freaked me
I've
out the first
also,
time I got it. It was the first time I ever got it. I remember exactly where I was, and I've
mm,
never thought something as stupid as that in my life. And I was like, "Where the
mm,
fuck did that come from?"
yeah. In regards to Sarah here, borderline personality disorder. I had an ex-boyfriend who had borderline personality and bipolar, and yeah, it was fun. We don't go out anymore. But that's because he moved back to America. But when he had episodes, um, certain, like when he got really bad, it was he was a different person.
Yeah,
It's something else. My neighbor also has it really
yeah,
bad, actually, and but what she does with it is she's actually advocate now. She's almost like an influencer in regards to BPD. She goes on TikTok, she talks about
oh, that's
BPD,
good.
she's studied it,
Yeah,
she's gone to university to learn about these sort of mental health conditions. And yeah, this is it. Is BPT a mental health condition? That can also be a question. But yeah, I
Mark?
know it's very debilitating, and
Yes.
it can be
Well, it.
very harmful.
I used to know someone who was BPD, and they were very jealous of sociopaths because like sociopaths didn't feel bad about doing awful things, but then if you borderline, you're in a mania and you do something horrible to somebody or someone that you love, you hurt them, and then you come down,
You
and then
feel
you
10 times
feel
worse than
fucking
anybody will
because you feel
ever feel.
emotions more. You feel
Yeah,
emotions more.
yeah.
Um, I was watching something that was talking about music. The effect on music on people with ADHD and autism is more pronounced. They're more likely to get goosebumps when they listen to music than people
Hmm.
who are neurotypical.
My
Um,
brother, he's a stimmer. You know, he'll listen to music and he'll do that.
yeah,
Which is part of his autism. And yeah, he doesn't know I see him do it, but yeah, I see him do those sort of things. When he was a kid, he used to run around the dining room table
yeah.
over and
But
over
there
and
you
over
go.
and over
You
and
know,
over and
you
over again.
two people can look at the same picture and see completely different things. Two people can listen to the same song and take two completely different things away from it. Like I'll listen to a Radiohead song or Nick Cave or the Tinder Sticks or the National, and I'll just think it's the most beautiful song in the world. Someone else will listen to it and just think it sounds like a funeral dirge, and they're just
Mm.
like, well, you know, I'll listen to Suede,
Well, I
the first two
mean,
Suede
I know
albums.
all about that as a fan of heavy metal music, and uh, I think someone asked whether loud music helped me.
Yeah,
I don't see it. I think, someone like my brother who deals with schizophrenia and deals with autism, he used to listen to music so loud in his headphones. Like he always had to have headphones. They always had to be really loud. And I wondered whether he was just trying to drown out the sound
yeah,
of whatever was going on in here. So maybe, but for me, I actually listened to less music
yeah,
because it was too much noise. Like sometimes but then I would also put in earphones at work because I couldn't deal with the people around me talking
yeah,
because all I hear are happy people.
yeah, yeah,
That's the last thing you want to
yeah.
hear. Does
Yes.
that make
Yeah,
sense?
yeah, 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 yeah. So people having
Like
a great
you're like,
time and you're
yeah,
not. Yeah.
you're all fine. I feel like complete fucking
Yeah.
shit. I want to
Yeah.
fucking do
Yeah.
myself in, and I'm here trying to work. I can't
Mm,
concentrate on this. I'm doing it wrong, and I'm
yeah.
not doing a good job. And you're all happy-go-lucky talking about your grandkids and the dates you're going on and whatever the fuck else, and living your life.
This is another thing why I think that sort of social media is quite damaging. But even like, you know, just having a chat with your mates on WhatsApp or something. If you might be having a fucking great time. You're on a roller coaster in Alton Towers and you're like, wee! Someone else who's reading your posts on Instagram or on Facebook is having a fucking terrible time. Something awful has happened in their life. And they're not in the mood for this shit, and it's you don't know what they're doing. It's a very weird thing because we never used to have this back when I was growing up. You couldn't
Yeah,
call
yeah,
someone on a
yeah,
roller coaster. You couldn't let someone know that you were having a great time every day. You couldn't take a picture of your fucking food and then put it on, I don't know, flyers around town for every. Look at my food. Look, Scott. Look what I have.
yeah,
Do
yeah,
you know what I
yeah.
mean? You couldn't do that. So I think when we talk about mental health, we really do need to talk about the impact of social media in some ways because people find their gang. I guess that's a good thing. So Discord servers and things like that, which are dedicated to helping people with mental health, as long as they are well regulated, so you don't have fucking dickheads turn up and saying
Oh,
horrible things. But Chris points out, sadly, the world is full of unempathetic individuals who don't have a clue.
yeah.
And Reverend Kathy saying services are really poor for people with BPD. They are really poor, very poor for people with
Terrible.
BPD, and there's still so much judgment. And you're right. And but also, I mean, other mental health problems. There's still it
Oh,
is
excuse me.
very you know. There's a joke about how many psychologists does it take to change a light bulb. One, the light bulb's got to want to change. But you know that kind of attitude, that reactive attitude rather than proactive attitude of society, if you like, is a huge problem because you know when you're feeling down or when you're feeling when you're not feeling yourself, I'll just say when you're suffering from any kind of mental health problem, the last thing
Yeah.
you want to do is fucking book a doctor's appointment at 8:30 to go to it. Do you know what I mean? It's like,
Yeah.
we need a bit of proactivity. And if you know someone who's not doing very well, who's suffering, there's literally fuck all you can do until they decide it's time for them to go and get help. You can't, there's no number you can call and say, my friend's really struggling.
Yeah,
Could
come
you
get him.
Well, you can't, I mean, you can't say come get them, but I mean,
Yeah, no,
could
right.
you put them on a program and make sure that you're looking after them? And they won't do it. They won't do it unless the
Yeah,
person
you do have to
themselves.
have you have to have the motivation within yourself to do these things. I got a friend who he is going through a hard time. He's had some serious health issues, and you know he's getting a bit better, but he still has some disability, and you know he's a mutual friend. My friend's saying to him, "You got to start living your life. You got to start
Yeah,
getting out and doing, going out and look for a job, that within your capabilities to do something." And he's not interested. Yeah. And he's just because he's in that
yeah,
hole.
yeah, yeah. Or if you're suffering from psychosis, you don't think there's anything wrong. You think that everyone else is
Oh
marching
yeah.
out of step, which is
Yeah.
terrifying. I don't know if you've ever dealt with someone who suffers from full-on psychosis, but it's
Yeah.
it's very, very upsetting, especially when it's someone that you love. And
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's the something that we should be taught, I think, in school is to just get over ourselves a little bit. Do you know what I mean? Like, what we see and what we hear isn't actually what is been said or what you've seen. It's your brain's interpretation of signals coming into your ears and your eyes. And people misremember all the time or misinterpret signals coming in. And there's a thing of a lot of people who don't think that they could possibly suffer from any mental health problems because they're perfect, and if you say to them, hey, have you thought of seeing someone about this, they'll get very, very angry and defensive in a way that you wouldn't if you'd broken your fucking leg and someone was saying, hey, you should go and see a doctor about that leg you've broken. Most people go, oh yeah, that's a good idea. But when it's mental health, it's like, how dare you say I'm not
Yeah.
perfectly perfect in every way? And I'm like, I think we could do with being taken down. Not sounds really bad, but take it down a peg or two.
Take them down now.
Especially with men, especially with young men in particular, who have one of the highest suicide rates of any cohort. And it's one of the reasons is because men are conditioned not to talk about their feelings. And if they aren't feeling well, there's a whole man up. I don't need to go to the doctors. I can just man up. And it doesn't work.
It's so funny to me when you say that because the biggest support to me at work is a 23-year-old.
Yeah.
Right? Because he understands mental health. And these kids get it a little bit.
I think you're right about Gen Z.
Yeah. They get the mental health thing. They really do. They understand it. This is, again, this is the same kid who's going, you're overthinking it. Yeah. How's a 23-year-old going to tell a 50-year-old they're overthinking? Unless they have some understanding of that, right?
Yeah.
And he has been, like I said, a really big support. But I think, but then when it's come down to some things that he was dealing with, he shut down.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think that I think it's gonna be a case of, well, he said, I talk to my family about these sort of things, and then I think with his friends, he's a little bit like, it takes a minute to bring these things out. So I would say I wouldn't worry about him so much, but you are right in regards to when we look at sort of the manosphere, the toxic masculinity, the people that are made to believe they have to be ultra macho, ultra this, ultra that. Don't show emotion, don't show feelings. It's not real, so therefore you don't need to show it. And you keep going, you keep pushing, and get a wife, have babies, work. And that's just not reality. That is, unfortunately, it is a reality, but it's not how you cope with life.
Chris is saying intrusive thoughts can feel real. Yeah, they absolutely.
Oh my God, yes.
Chrissy would also say, what annoys me is when someone says, why are you worrying over that tiny thing? It might look tiny to you, but it's a big problem for me. Yeah, I
Right.
absolutely get that. I mean, I know
All
I
problems
know
are
this is
relative.
a little bit not on the same scale, right? But like, if I'm designing something, whether it's the fucking mental logo up there or whatever it is, and I am being really fucking anal about it, and I've got all my guides set up on Photoshop so it's all in the exact proportion with each other, and someone's like, "Why are you bothering with all it?" I'm just like, because I know that if I hadn't made that to what I wanted it to look like, I'll be doing this show now with you, and I wouldn't be able to concentrate on what you're saying because I'd be
Mhm.
looking at the fucking mental thing in the corner going, that doesn't look quite right.
Right.
It's annoying me that it still says politics social in the background of this. Maybe I could take the strap off. Let's get rid of the strap off.
But I think when it comes to, this is a thing. It's like, what is it? It's like a millionaire could have the same problems as someone who's poor,
Yeah,
right? But the poor person's always going to think that the millionaire is far more well off and there's nothing they need to worry about. That's not true because everyone's problems are relative, right?
yeah,
And they can be affected the same way.
yeah,
So, you know, this millionaire who, I don't know, he's in risk of losing all his money or like he's in debt or whatever, like, he's lived about and you can get into a depression about it. Just the
yeah,
same as someone who doesn't have anything will
yeah,
get into a depression
yeah.
about it. It's the same sort of thing. You would think, okay, well, that person could sort it out. You can just make it all go away. It
Yeah.
doesn't necessarily work like that,
But
because how
yeah,
you deal with your problems is
yeah.
very unique to you.
But another big problem we have is when there are people who are put there to help, some of them are shite. And this is a huge, and it's the same with doctors helping with physical health as
This
well.
is, yeah, well, yeah,
There are
of
some
course.
people out there and they're just fucking shit at what they
Yeah.
can't make a connection, the kind of connection that you need. And
Well,
I always
it
remember when I
is.
did my driving test, right? I'd failed my driving test the first 2 times because I had an
Okay.
instructor who was just shit at instructing me. And then I got a new instructor for like a week before my third test, and I sailed through with flying colours because something clicked. But
Mm,
up to that point, I didn't know that my first instructor wasn't that good
mm.
because I'd never had an instructor before. So in the same way,
Yeah.
if you get a psychologist or a psychiatrist and they're a bit shit, how do you know? Like, you got nothing to compare it against. Maybe you've
No,
watched
you don't.
Analyze
But
This or something. I don't know.
I think you know when if you feel better or not.
Yeah, yeah,
Now, the
yeah,
counselor I spoke to, she didn't even really input too much
yeah,
into anything. She would sort of recap what the things I was saying back to me, and saying, she can understand what that is, that can be part of that.
yeah,
um and that it was almost observational, and and but when I finished the call with her, I felt fucking amazing afterwards. I felt
yeah,
better. I felt relieved. I felt unburdened, for a
brilliant.
little while, even though maybe the anxiety wasn't letting me go,
Yeah,
but the feeling of myself, all right, and maybe just even be reassured again, even by your counselor who's going, you are thinking about this way too much. Your friend is right. you know,
yeah.
and yeah, yeah,
But
that's fine.
also, there's another factor here. I'll get into the chat in a moment. But also, you know when someone close to you passes away, and there's certain people in your life who'll just kind of avoid you for a bit, and it's not because they don't like you, it's not because they don't want to hang out with you anymore. It's just they don't know what to say. And I think mental health also triggers that attitude in a lot of people, where they just don't know what to say, and they don't want to make the situation worse, so they withdraw. And it's the worst thing they could fucking possibly do, because
It
in
is.
that moment, in your grief or in your depression or in whatever's going on, you
That's the
need
moment I
people
need
around
you.
you. You need people to talk to and
That's the time I need
have
you.
a chat and talk
Yes.
and tell
Yes.
jokes and laugh and just have
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
social. We're social animals, we
We are.
need connection. Um,
Exactly. I mean, when you get into a depression, it's very easy for you to isolate and to sort of
yes.
say to yourself, "I don't want people around," because
Yeah.
you almost, with my depression, it's very much, I'm going to bring everybody else down.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's no point in me being in the room, and also there's what I talk about, being annoyed that someone else is not is is having
A good
is all right.
time when you're not having a good time. Yeah.
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 Why? You know, and that's not them. That's you. That's me. That's my problem.
Yeah.
Not theirs. Live your life.
But misery loves company, mate. Misery loves company.
Yeah. So we you know, we do, but at the same time, you know, eventually what started to bring me out was seeing people, seeing my friends, seeing
Yeah.
friends I hadn't seen for a long time, and reconnecting and doing that sort of stuff, as well as having the support network that I had at work and everything else. That really, it all helped.
Yeah.
It's just little things, you know,
Yeah.
coming together.
Yeah. So Chris is saying the probation service did a psychological assessment without me knowing. I found that they suggested I had narcissistic vulnerabilities. When I questioned, it was told it was nothing to worry about. Yeah, I kind of
What's that even
understand
mean?
that. Well, I mean, narcissistic vulnerabilities might mean you could, in certain circumstances, act like someone who is a narcissist. But then, in certain circumstances, all of us can act like people who are narcissists. It's why there's a big list of things, and you need to tick every single one of them off the list in order to be, you know, a proper narcissist.
I don't think I'm not a narcissist, but yeah, like when I'm down, I'm very self-involved.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
all I have is what's here.
And this is another thing that's difficult with mental health. It's quite fuzzy. Do you know what I mean? Like, where are the boundaries? Where does, you know, borderline and psychosis and depression, anxiety, all these things, and intrusive thoughts cuts across all of them, you know, no matter what is going on. But there are certain mental health problems that are so socially stigmatized that it's very difficult for someone who's experiencing these feelings or these thoughts to go and seek help. I mean, pedophilia is probably the most obvious one, where there was a story a few years ago of a guy who suddenly in his 30s started having these pedophilic thoughts, and he actually went to the doctors and they did a brain scan and they found that he had a tumor, and they took the tumor away and they stopped having. But then a few months later they started again, and he went back to the doctors. I'm having these thoughts. What the fuck, doctor? And they scanned his brain and they realized they hadn't taken all of the tumor out. So that was like
all the tumor hadn't gone again.
Yeah.
That's
now,
crazy.
if he had acted on those impulses, on those urges, he'll be in jail for the rest of his life.
He would have harmed someone.
And he would have ruined someone's life forever. And one of the things that they're trying to do in Germany, I believe, is they're trying to set up a system where you can, if you are having these kind of thoughts, get the help that you need before you go on and do something fucking horrible. Whereas in the UK, it's just like, I guess most people would keep that to themselves because of, you know, exactly. And that does not help society. If someone's like, I shouldn't be having these thoughts, this is wrong, I need to go and get some help with this. If that option's not available, then harm's going to be done. So I think when we talk about mental health, we have to be quite sort of holistic about it and just go, if people aren't feeling right for whatever reason, the first thing we need to do is see, you know, try and suss out what the problem is, try and give them some support, but also give them options. And I'm going to be honest now, right? If I started having intrusive thoughts like that about children, I would go to the doctor straight away and go, what the fuck, doctor? I'm having these thoughts. What the fuck? And get me brain scanned. Maybe I've got a tumor. If I haven't, I'll take chemical castration as an option if that was available, because I wouldn't want to act on those thoughts at all. And no one talks about this. It's not like they bring it up in the manosphere.
It's taboo.
Do you know what I mean?
It's way too taboo. It's way too taboo.
Yeah. And do you know what? There's a part of me that feels, not the people who act on it, maybe very clear, like if you act on it, fuck off, go to jail forever. But the people who feel that way, feel that urge and don't want to, it just comes from somewhere, and it's like, fucking hell, that must be really fucking shit.
It must be very difficult to deal with. It's I mean, I don't ever really feel comfortable talking about pedophilia as some sort of mental illness, because I don't think it is. There's something intrinsically wrong, and I don't know what that is. Does that make sense?
No, it absolutely makes sense because of the way we frame it in society. Chris puts a good point here. He says, Graham, you hit the nail on the head. In the UK, support is not offered until an offence is committed. by which time it's too fucking late. Do you know what I mean? Like,
or you've put yourself in danger.
yeah,
Yeah. So you're committed if you attempt suicide, not if you want to.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Same with psychosis. If you know someone who's got psychosis, there's nothing you can do to help them, and they won't go. Generally speaking, they won't go in and get help themselves because they don't think there's anything wrong, and they will react quite viciously if you suggest that maybe you should go and talk to someone about this. You know, in even the most neutral kind of way. Don't say the word psychologist or psychiatrist or therapist or counselor or anything like that. Just say, have you thought about talking to someone about all this? Yeah, both barrels. And you can't. There's no one you can call up and say, my friend, my loved one, my husband, my wife is suffering from psychosis. Can you please tell me what to do? And all we're left with is YouTube videos and tutorials, and I think that's a huge problem as well. Reverend Caffey said, I have a sad patient who knew that he was at risk when he deteriorated. He bloody begged for help and they gave him an appointment in a month's time, ended up in a secure ward. I was livid.
Yeah. That's what happens. Because then in that month, they might do something that they, normally wouldn't do, or in some way harm themselves or harm another. And then it's, oh well, we have to do something now.
Yeah. Wow, there's a message here from Rich saying I had stress alopecia when I was 13. Not great back in the 80s when everyone had hair. Bloody hell! I mean, getting alopecia when you're 13. I'm sorry that happened, Richard. That is crazy.
Yeah,
from stress.
Alopecia that's always been a mystery.
Why have we got a society in which a 13-year-old can be that stressed? I'm looking at what my daughters are doing in school. My stepdaughters with one of them's doing their GCSEs at the moment. It's just so much fucking work. She's revising every fucking night, and it's insane. And it's like so much stress to put on a little kid. It's just I just think it's bonkers. And you know what it was? It was, I hate to get all political on the old Politics Social channel, although it does still say Politics Social behind us, because I haven't updated that yet. But it was Cummings. It was Cummings and Michael Gove who did that. They moved everything.
That work.
They moved everything over to exams. Everything, all the coursework, they moved it. So all of the GCSEs that are getting done now are pretty much 100% exams. They used to be like 50% coursework, 50% exam. That doesn't happen anymore. Scott, I need to push back. If you have experienced CSA and never got any support to deal with those demons, those type of intrusive thoughts are very real, says Chris. Reverend Kathy says, to be fair, we have a 24-hour crisis line for patients and families, but they don't offer much beyond a phone call. And Butterfly Effect saying, Des, Billy, when a person behind a persona, it's easy for a person to go a bit far. That's why I expressed a concern. Okay, in frolics, but other places people are vulnerable. It's not fair to wind up people. And it depends where you are, and obviously it's the context of the situation. And one Angry Pagan saying, anyone here have a problem similar to me at recognizing certain facial expressions? Sometimes it hurts because I know that I do care, but I keep misunderstanding what I'm seeing. I think that's quite common with autism. That it's difficult for someone who's autistic.
Reading people.
Yeah.
Reading. What would you say? Sort of body language.
Yeah.
And body. I have trouble with that sometimes myself. The most trouble I have with that is usually in a romantic sense. So if someone's flirting with me, I can't see it. I don't see it unless they're very, very, very blunt. And then that also happens when I start, like, if I try to chat someone up, I'm way too blunt. I could be way too forward. So it's because I don't know how to play that game. And when I can see when someone is upset about something, obviously I can see when someone's happy, I can see when someone's upset, or they're worried, or whatever. I can see when something's wrong.
Yeah.
And I think that's a good intuition to have, to a point, to be able to see that and acknowledge it, and there's an empathy to that and whatever. But you know where I get lost? Messages. Messaging. Slack. WhatsApp. Yeah. That's where I can get confused. Emojis confuse the fuck out of me sometimes.
Do you know
I
what the
don't know what that
eggplant
actually
emoji
means.
means?
Huh?
Do you know what the eggplant emoji means?
There was a girl. I was a girl who did a TikTok recently. I saw she said she's kind of a cusp Gen X millennial age, and apparently all the emojis she's been using, her Gen Z sort of staff
Yeah.
have been finding it offensive because they think it means something completely different from what she thought it meant. Yeah. So there's a minefield there, sometimes. We all have trouble at times deciphering things people say and do. But I understand my brother, he's just constantly scared because he doesn't he can't read people at
Yeah.
all.
Yeah. Yeah.
He doesn't
Well,
know if they're being friendly or
yeah.
horrible or what.
Well, just a couple of weeks ago, I was having a debate, a
Mm.
friendly debate, but with Phil, who's diagnosed with autism, and it was
Sure, it was
about the
friendly.
definition of Zionism, and I was
Mm.
saying it means different things to different people, which it does. Like I feels like, but this is what it means, and no matter how many times I tried to say, yeah, I get that. It's the same with the emotion, with the emojis. It's like your friend there or someone on the internet saying this emoji means this to me, but
Mm.
that same emoji, when someone else sees it, they take a completely different message from it. So that's a problem. So avoid using that emoji
Yeah.
because
She
then you
said
won't get into fights.
this was brilliant. She said she uses the thumbs up emoji, right?
Yeah.
The Gen Z staff thought that was passive aggressive.
Yes. Yeah.
And to me, I use it as well done, yay. It's like
Yep.
that's a good thing, right? They see it as a
Yeah, but you know that in Brazil means arsehole.
She thought the praying
Yeah.
emoji was a high five.
Oh no.
She thought that was a high five.
Oh dear. Yeah, okay. Yeah, no, that's not what it means.
But that's
no,
what she happened.
do you know what? I don't think that the thumb is passive aggressive, but I do think that the thumb is like, that's nice. Do you know what I mean? It's like,
No, I
it's
think
like,
when I've done
well
the
done.
thumbs,
It's like a tap on the head.
no, when I've done the thumbs, I'm like, yay, yay.
Nah, you
Like,
need
to
the
me, that's
eggplant
yay.
emoji. Well, the aubergine emoji.
Well, I don't use that at work, but
I do that when
like,
Aid's talking about his dad.
yeah, this is the hands up, raised hands emoji.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
what does that even mean?
I don't know. The one where it's like that and it's got some like dotted lines in the middle of it. Yeah, what does that mean?
What does that mean?
I don't know. If anyone knows what that one with the dotted lines in the middle, tell us
Me
in
and
the
my
chat.
friends use that all the time, and to me, it either means I've read it and I approve,
Yeah.
or I've read it and I'm probably not going to reply.
Yeah.
Like, yay, cool, okay, that's almost like an okay, almost like a thumbs up. But then he said to me today, right? Because I thought I annoyed him. I said something to him. He said to me, yeah, I would have sent you. He goes, if you had annoyed me, I would have sent you a thumbs up and not replied. And I was like,
yeah,
you would have used a thumbs up in a negative way?
Yeah.
That's crazy. That's crazy. It's supposed to be yay. I would look at that and go, oh, well, we can continue the conversation. Everything I said was perfectly okay.
Isn't this bringing us back to the whole thing of like everyone's different? Everyone experiences life differently.
See
Everyone
things a little differently.
We all see things differently, and it's not necessarily a bad thing or a good thing. It's just a thing that we should all be aware of. If three people witness the same car accident, they will give slightly different accounts to the police because they all saw something slightly different based on their prejudices, what they had to eat that day, what they the drink, obviously. And memory is a shifting thing, and the people can remember things differently. And I remember when a friend of mine said, this is years and years ago, that I treated my ex-girlfriend, who's some mate to it now, like I'd been a very bad boyfriend to her, and it mortified me. I was like, really? And I just assumed that they had a conversation at some point, and my ex had said, oh, that Graham, he was a twat or something. Which is fair enough, I am a twat, but I didn't think I was a twat to her. And so I said to her, was I shit? This is like 5 years after we broke up. I was like, was I a shit boyfriend? She's like, no, you were really nice and really caring, and you really looked after me. And I went, okay.
But someone else looks
But
at that
someone
and
else
doesn't-
saw that same relationship and just saw me being a dickhead because it was like nights out in Liverpool, me drunk, saying stupid shit because that's what I do. And my ex didn't drink, so they would have been just sitting there going, it's nothing to do with me. He's only embarrassing himself, But it's interesting the way people remember things differently and take different things away from a conversation. And I've had that where friends of mine have reminded me of things that I've done in the past, and I have no recollection of it at all, Scott. Like but it stayed with them. Sometimes it's been a little bit of wisdom. Sometimes it's just being a cunt. But one of the two. I always remember when you said to me,
Greg, that's really smart of me, isn't it?
The best one that I just it cracked me up because my mate sort of reminded me about this just a couple of weeks ago or something. He said, "Do you remember that time we were in Australia and we were sharing that 6-pack and you drank 4 of them?" And I went, "No." And he went, "Do you know what you said to me when you cracked open the 4th one?" I went, "No." He said, "Get better mates." That's what I said to him.
You said that to him?
As I cracked open the 4th of 6 beers, so it was supposed to be 3 each, and I pick up the 4th because he wasn't drinking as fast as me. And when he said, "Oi, that's mine," I went, "Get better mates." And he's remembered that. That was like 20 fucking years ago, and he's going to take that to his grave.
Yeah, there's things I remember people say to me sometimes. I'm just like, "Well, you remember when you said this to me?" And they're like, "No, I never." I'm like, "You blatant."
You fucking did. I'm usually on the receiving end of that. Do you remember when you said this? And I'm like, I say a lot of things. I don't know.
That much of an asshole. I apologize.
Yeah. Jenny saying the taco emoji has changed so much since the Trump thing. Well, it still represents a part of the female anatomy, doesn't it?
No, I would have just thought it was a taco.
Really? You didn't know what taco was? Okay.
A euphemism for minge.
It was a euphemism for minge, but now it's Trump always chickens out, isn't it?
Yeah, Trump always chickens out. But taco, if someone sent me a taco, I'd be like, "Cool, we're going to Taco Bell." I don't know. I love tacos. Yeah, let's go get a taco.
But then again, I suppose it's who you're talking to. So if you were talking to a family friend, like an older lady or something, and they said, you'd go, "Okay, yeah, we're going to Taco Bell." But if you're talking to A. Thompson, you'll be like, "Okay, that's got to mean something naughty."
I don't know what that fucking is. I explain everything. Has anyone in the chat come up with the answer to what does the hands emoji mean?
The hands emoji? I don't think so. Shropshire Chris has been distracted by Maggie Pocock, whoever that is.
Okay.
And,
she could po my cock.
If you're going to say stuff like that, could you mind just keeping your hands up?
She could po my cock.
Thank you. Keep the jazz hands going. I thought Trump's emoji is shit, says Chris C. Oh, I use the pumpkin emoji. I use the pumpkin, arrow, grave, and then party. And Shropshire Chris wants you to say minge again.
Minge.
Minge. No, but I don't think anyone knows what that emoji is.
No one knows. We should Google it. Really,
it's not a clap, is it? It's just hands. It's like hands up.
Yeah, we're doing it. We're doing it.
Hands.
Is the hands?
Oh, hang on. There's one that's like that, but that's just 2 hands together, like.
Hands together.
No, that's not the one I'm thinking
of.
Hands
up. Praise hands. 2 hands signify celebration, high energy, success, excitement, or gratitude.
Praise. I can't get praise to come up to anything. Gratitude.
I put in, what does the hands up emoji mean?
Ah, okay.
Yeah. So hands up emoji, which is the emoji we're talking about.
Oh, it's got like 3 little dots. Raising hands. It's called on. I'm gonna just
raising hands emoji. Yeah. So,
raising hands. So what does that mean? Does that mean I've just put it into the chat.
Hallelujah. I guess I don't know. Like. Praise hands, 2 hands signifies.
Oh, maybe it's like Wayne's World, like when they meet Alice Cooper and they're like, "We're not worthy, like this." Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you reckon?
Yeah. Maybe it's commonly used to show enthusiastic support, congratulate someone, or to know a hallelujah moment. of praise. And it can represent a high 10 in sports or a ta-da expression of joy.
Yeah, Chris
Ta-da!
has got it. Signifies celebration, success, high fives, or excitement.
Yeah.
Well, so it's also known as praise hands or two hands. Signifies celebration, high energy, success, excitement, and gratitude. So there you go. Good old Google. And Russ
So
says,
there's a
read the
folded
chat. I
hands.
am reading the chat. I was just trying to look up something myself. Can't look at...
So the folded hands, that is often thanks or prayer. The clapping hands, then there's the party harper and the starstruck. Which, what the fuck does the starstruck mean? That means like you fancy someone, right?
Yeah. But there's one for dizzy. There's a dizzy emoji.
It's the eyes going everywhere, right?
No. There's another one, and it's a star going round. It's like a star going round. I use that for rejoin EU. That's my rejoin EU emoji. But it's actually the dizzy emoji. You got to type in dizzy to get it. Diz, I found an emoji for you. You can have that, Dizzy. So yeah, I mean, we've been yakking now for over an hour, but like, there's so much stuff to talk about when it comes to mental health, and I think it'd be really helpful if we've got a space that's been set up on the Politics Social server. What's it called? Discord, where people can talk about it. But I think this is really good. I think it's really nice to just have a bit of a night off from talking about politics and talking about our actual lives for a change. I know me and Mike were talking about doing a show specifically about ADHD called ADH Me. And we might, yes, that was his idea, not mine. He's better at shit than I am. I just call it fucking mental,
which had me laughing.
But yeah, I thought it might grab attention. Also, I want to see if it get demonetized. Do we get demonetized for calling it this? I don't know. We'll have to see. We'll find out. I did censor it slightly in the thumbnail and in the description. I trained as a mental health counsellor, but I knew by the end of the training I would be no good at it. Says Lost Missionary. Apart from grief counselling, which I found really fulfilling. Yeah, I mean, it's something that not everyone's a great counsellor, and there's another thing here as well, where I know from my own experience and other people, when someone's not feeling great themselves, but they're seen as a safe person, it means that sometimes people will go to them for help. And if it happens at a time when that person is not feeling themselves anyway, it can kind of compound the anxiety that if someone's suffering from anxiety, for instance, it can sometimes compound it. So that makes it difficult as well in terms of reaching out, because again, just like when people avoid you because someone's died, they don't want to do the wrong thing. They don't want to say the wrong thing. Or like, I can't deal with this now. Can we come back to this another time, please? Because I'm not I don't have the headspace to deal with it. Is not an answer that some people approve of, unfortunately. So I think if there's anything to take away from this show, it's just give yourself a break and give other people a break as well. Just don't assume the worst, and when it's yourself and you've got stuff to deal with, put your mask on first before you put it onto somebody else, when the plane's going down.
Look after yourself, yeah.
Yeah, because if you can't, if your mental health's not great, you're not going to be able to help anyone else. In fact, you might end up making the situation worse. So, so if anyone wants to have a chat, if anyone can't access the server, I think pretty much everyone in the chat is probably on the Discord server by now. But if you're not, go to grahamdavidhughes.com, drop me a message and I'll add you. No problem. Or you just become a member of the channel. That's another thing you can do. But there you go. And we could do a mental health show, 29 years dealing with a family member with paranoid schizophrenia and addiction issues. Oof, the stories I could tell, says person impersonator.
No addiction issues, but the schizophrenia, yes.
Yeah. And Chris says, remember, guys, you have to look after your own mental health. It's okay to say, I need space at the moment. Yeah. Yeah. Because, I know I'm a people pleaser, and I know a lot of people that I hang out with are people pleasers as well. They don't want to just say, can you just leave this? Do you know what I mean? Just in case. But sometimes, you have to, because it's not a good place for you to be in. And
I did it very recently again with this friend of mine who
yeah,
he was going through his own shit, and I wanted to help.
yeah,
I wanted
because
to
you're a
help.
people
I wanted
pleaser,
to,
Scott. You're a
yeah.
people pleaser.
No, well, he helped me. I want to return that favor, but
Yeah,
all the fuck he wanted was to be left alone. To the point where he said to me the next day, "I'll be honest with you,
yeah,
it did get a bit much because I did tell you I wanted you to leave me alone, and you were a little bit like, well, I want to help, I want to help." And I know it was coming from a good place, and I know it you care, I get it,
yeah,
but the way I had to deal with that day was,
yeah,
and that's a lesson. That's a lesson I've learned, right?
yeah.
To how to deal with my friend. So I think we're all guilty of doing it. We're all guilty of
Yeah.
doing that.
Oh, absolutely. And but this is the thing. But I will say that I would rather people get in touch rather than not. I would
Mm.
rather people don't bottle things up inside. And if you've got friends, if you've got family, if you've got someone you can talk to, even if it's online, please talk to them, because honestly, just chatting about shit makes people feel
Mm.
better. Just having conversations. You don't have to talk about your mental health problems. You can talk about fucking anything. Do
Talk
you know what I
about
mean?
whatever makes you happy to talk about.
Yeah.
You know, I think that was kind of like what I wanted to do. I was like, we don't have to talk about what you're going through. We just talk
Yeah.
shit. Do you know what I mean? But sometimes you don't want to talk shit. You just want to fuck off. Fuck
Yeah.
off.
Yeah.
You know.
But that's it. I think. Okay. Well, the main thing is we need as humans, as society, me and you and everybody else watching this, and everyone out in the world, we need to get better at listening to what
We
people
do.
are actually saying.
Yeah. And he did say it.
Yeah.
And I was yeah, he did say it, and I thought I had given that space,
Yeah.
but I read it wrong.
Well, Reverend Kathy is saying what?
I made my mistake. I
Yeah.
apologize. And moving forward, the next time he goes, I need the space today. You got it.
Yeah. Yeah.
You got it.
Yeah.
It's yours.
I try very hard not to give people advice. I try and stop myself doing it. I go, well, what works for me?
I do. I'm
what
really
works
bad
for
at that,
me
though.
is ...
Yeah.
And I just leave it at that, because I know that I'll get into, 'cause the worst thing is when someone does not want advice. That's the last thing they want. They just want to vent, or just I want to chat about something else.
Yeah.
And you're sitting there going,
what
what you want to do
what
is
you
what
need
you
to
want
do.
to do. Yeah,
I
but
think for me, the best way that I deal with that is usually say, this is how I would deal with the situation.
yeah,
You do with that information as you please.
yeah, exactly. Yeah,
That would be my suggestion to you.
yeah.
But how you live your life is how you live your life.
Yeah.
You do what you want. Yeah.
Reverend Kathy says, whatever you're going through, remember you are the best expert at being you, and you matter.
Yes.
You are valuable, precious, and important. Oh,
100%.
Couldn't agree more. Shropshire says, when a friend messages me with problems, I love this, because I used to do this as well. I ask them to go outside and look up at the moon, and I do the same. We both then have a shared view, and it helps a lot. I used to do that when I was traveling with my girlfriend.
That's crazy. I've never heard of that before.
Yeah, go and have a look at the moon. It helps if you're in the same similar time zone. It didn't really work when I was in South America and she was in Australia. But
she was in England. She couldn't see the fucking moon.
couldn't see the fucking moon. It's fucking daytime grime, you fucking idiot. But yeah. And Scott, you're a valued member of community and a fellow mod, apparently. You're not a rocker? I always thought you were a rocker. Apparently you're a mod.
I'm a rocker.
And a mod.
I'm everything.
Oh, that explains so much. Lost Mission says, Pagan, this community has made my life so much better. I usually sign out appreciating the company, and I really mean it. Oh, that's lovely, Lost Missionary.
That's a really
and
lovely
it's what we wanted to do when we set this all up, is just have a little corner of the internet that wasn't horrible. I mean, we could be all about Trump and Farage, but just not horrible.
That's being horrible about people who are horrible.
Yeah, and that's fair enough.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you do want to head over to Discord now and have a chat with other people on Discord, you're very welcome to do so. Like I say, if you can't get access to it just yet, just either join the channel or give me a bell, give me a message. GrahamDavidHughes.com. Easy to find, and there should be a little message thing at the bottom of that. Scott, thanks so much for coming on tonight and talking about mental health. Is that nicer than talk? This is crazy, isn't it? I'm going to say this. is talking about your depression for an hour, was that nicer than talking about Donald fucking Trump?
It's so much more cheerier than talking about Donald Trump.
That's amazing, that, isn't it? That's how depressing Donald Trump is.
For me, it helps to talk about it, but also if there is somebody out there who does identify with that, then hopefully that helps them too. So
Yeah.
I'm cool talking about it. And like I said, it works both ways. It helps me as well as hopefully helping someone else. I'm not the oracle of depression. I don't know everything, but I know my experience, and I can talk about that.
But whatever, when I said like earlier, everyone's experience is unique. Everyone, the signals coming into your brain, it's unique to you and the way that your brain works. The brain is the most complex thing that we know of in the universe, the human brain.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of things we do not know about it. But I know that you use 100% of it, otherwise, So these people get shot in the head, and it's like, it's okay, it was the 95% of me head I wasn't using.
Isn't it true that we only use about 3% of our brain?
No, we use all of it. Yeah, but nature does not allow for mad shit like having a big brain that you don't use. I mean, there's a big-eyed, no-eyed fucking cave spider, isn't there? That's got no eyes.
I got a big dick that I never use.
Well, it's got to wither away then, isn't it? It's going to drop off.
All of that was a lie.
That's nature. That's nature.
And I use it all the time.
It's why it's why your little appendix has just shriveled down to a little.
Listen, I wish it was that big. I do.
I'm talking about your appendix.
Oh, right, yes.
I don't know. Anyway, so listen, thanks very much to Scott for coming on tonight and talking mental health. And I enjoyed this a lot better than talking about American politics.
Trump. Yeah, no, me too.
Honestly, it's just like American politics. Like, oh, what's he said now? What's he done now? Do you know what he did today? Yesterday he had to go at the Pope. Did you hear about that?
Yes, and then
you know what he did today?
He posted a picture of himself as Jesus Christ.
As Jesus, yeah. 1.4 billion Catholics around the world went.
No, they went no.
55% of Catholics voted for Trump. Bet they're regretting their vote now.
What you vote for, don't you?
Well, if they're right, they're going to burn in hell. Whoopsies. They're going to be eating shit in hell, in the fiery lakes of hell with Donald Trump for the rest of the time. But there you go. We're all mad here.
Anyway, we're not talking about it. We're going to go.
So thanks very much to Scott. Thanks very much to everyone in the chat for being so absolutely lovely. And like I said, keep the conversation going on Discord if you like. If you've not already given this a like, please consider giving us a like, because we always like a like on this channel. And it doesn't cost you anything. It's just, it's just being nice, innit? But exactly. I'll be back at 9 o'clock tomorrow morning for Morning Brew. And so hopefully you can join me then. And until then, I'll just say thank you so much for watching. Take care of yourselves and each other. Hello, good evening, welcome, and goodbye.
Bye.